Last time, a city was saved, but at a massive cost. Now the world feels bigger. The dangers feel darker, and the lines between friend and foe get even blurrier. Powers evolve, secrets spread, and new faces join the fight as the story takes us across time, borders, and generations. This isn't just about surviving anymore, it's about what happens when extraordinary people start shaping the world itself. Mohinder has been touring, warning about a plague called the Shanti virus. A man named Bob approaches, offering him a job with a secretive group known only as the Company. Bob can literally turn objects into gold, which funds their work. Later, Mohinder secretly calls Noah, revealing his speeches were bait to infiltrate the Company and take it down from the inside. Meanwhile, in Honduras, siblings Maya and Alejandro are fugitives crossing the border. Their bond seems vital, but the truth is revealed when Maya gets separated. Alejandro finds her surrounded by dead passengers, dark liquid streaming from their eyes. Her deadly ability is tied to his presence, and only together can they keep it under control. In Japan, Hiro suddenly finds himself in 1671. He saves the legendary Takezo Kensei from an ambush, only to discover Kensei is actually an Englishman who cheats his way through battles. Hiro insists on helping him become the hero of history, but Kensei has no interest. Back in California, Claire is starting fresh at a new school under the alias Butler. She meets West, a boy who seems to notice more than he lets on. After standing up to the head cheerleader, Claire secretly shows off her abilities, unaware that West might be watching. Elsewhere, Matt has passed his detective exam and is raising Molly with Mohinder's help, but Molly is haunted by nightmares of a man with dark eyes who terrifies her. Nathan, broken and drinking heavily, sees horrifying visions of himself scarred from the nuclear blast. Claire calls him for comfort, but he's too lost to help. Angela and Kaito receive ominous death warnings. Kaito is attacked by a hooded figure and killed. Meanwhile, in Ireland, thieves open a shipping container, only to find Peter, alive but chained, with no memory of who he is. Peter is being held captive in Ireland by a group of criminals, furious that their shipment of iPods has gone missing. With no memory of who he is, he's questioned and watched closely, though Caitlin, the sister of one of the men, shows him some kindness. In California, Claire struggles to blend into her new school. She listens curiously to a lecture on lizard regeneration, connecting it to her own abilities, while her parents read about Kaito's mysterious death in the paper. At the crime scene, Matt and his partner investigate, finding Angela connected to the case. Ando explains the strange helix symbol as a mark once tied to samurai and meaning godsend. Back in the 1600s, Hiro tries to turn Kensei into the hero he's meant to be, but when that fails, Hiro takes his place, saving the swordsmith's daughter. She sees him as a savior, while Kensei remains hesitant until his own shocking power is revealed. Mohinder begins working for the Company and is tasked with curing a man infected by the Shanti virus. The man turns out to be the Haitian, who at first sees his illness as punishment, but eventually accepts the treatment. In Honduras, Maya and Alejandro continue their journey across the border. They're briefly helped by Nydia, but Maya's uncontrollable ability nearly kills her. Alejandro manages to calm his sister, but Nydia, horrified, flees from them. Back in Ireland, Peter starts to discover his powers again, his telekinesis, energy blasts, and strength when he protects Caitlin from attackers. Nathan and Matt both cross paths at Angela's interrogation, where an unseen force attacks her, leaving her shaken and holding a marked photo. Meanwhile, Claire experiments with her healing by cutting off her toe, which instantly grows back. Unfortunately, West has been secretly watching through her window. Peter prepares for a risky heist with Ricky's crew, though one brother suspects betrayal. During the job, guards trigger an alarm, but Peter uses his abilities to block their path, ensuring escape. Later, when Will turns on the group and shoots him, Peter regenerates and nearly kills him with telekinesis, stopping only when Caitlin begs him to. Grateful, Ricky welcomes Peter into the family, and Caitlin marks the moment with a tattoo, though it mysteriously shifts into the helix symbol before vanishing. Meanwhile, Maya and Alejandro continue running from the law. Alejandro is caught by police, but Maya storms the station, unleashing her deadly power on everyone inside. He manages to reverse the damage, reviving them all, but their abilities terrify those around them. They flee with an American prisoner, speeding away in a stolen car. In New Orleans, Niki and Micah visit DL's grave before heading to stay with Nana Dawson. Micah struggles with his father's loss, while Niki continues carrying heavy secrets. Hiro remains in the past, clashing with Kensei, who resents his curse but later embraces his healing gift. With Yaeko's admiration, Kensei basks in being a hero while Hiro wrestles with jealousy and the choice to return home. Claire tries to keep a low profile at school, but her tension with West grows. After he reveals his own power, flight, the two share a kiss. powerless. But Claire is shaken when she notices a scar on his neck, realizing he was once captured by someone close to her. Elsewhere, Sylar wakes injured in a shack, cared for by Michelle, who is actually Candace using her illusions. When he kills her in hopes of stealing her power, nothing works, leaving him powerless and stranded. Finally, Mohinder uncovers Isaac's final painting, a vision of Noah dead with a bullet in his eye, casting a dark shadow over everything to come. Things start with Micah adjusting to life in New Orleans. He's staying with his cousin Monica, who lost her mother during Hurricane Katrina, and now looks after her grandmother and younger brother. Micah bonds with her family by secretly using his gift to help her brother watch a pay-per-view wrestling match. Later, Monica discovers she has an unusual ability. Anything she sees, she can mimic. After watching wrestling moves on TV, she surprises everyone by stopping a robbery at her job using the exact same moves. Meanwhile, Maya and Alejandro continue their dangerous journey toward New York, hoping to find Mohinder. They're traveling with Derek, a kind stranger offering a ride. On the road, they stumble upon an injured man, Sylar. Claiming he was robbed, Sylar insists he knows the doctor they're seeking and offers to help. Derek later realizes his passengers are fugitives after spotting them in the newspaper. He tries warning Sylar, not realizing who he truly is. Sylar pretends to agree, then brutally kills Derek. Afterward, he confronts the siblings, asking if the murders are true. Maya admits her powers are deadly and loses control, but instead of running, Sylar is fascinated. Though still powerless, he manipulates them into trusting him. Elsewhere, Claire and West grow closer. Their date ends with them sitting on the Hollywood sign and sharing a kiss, though Claire lies to her father about joining the cheer team to hide the romance. Suspicious, Noah secretly works with a Haitian and prepares to investigate mysterious paintings in Odessa. At the same time, Nathan helps Matt dig into the truth about his father. An old photo reveals a hidden group of past heroes, including Matt's dad. Molly uses her tracking ability to locate him, but panics. He's the boogeyman. She seizes up, leaving only a desperate plea echoing in Matt's mind. Things open with Mohinder and Matt watching over Molly, who remains unconscious after trying to locate Matt's father. Though hesitant to face him, Matt agrees to go after some encouragement and questions Angela, who gives little away. Nathan soon joins him, and together they track down Maury in Philadelphia. The reunion quickly goes south. Maury shares Matt's telepathic gift and traps both men in terrifying illusions before slipping away. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Monica is questioned about a robbery at her diner, but denies knowing the suspect. Later, Micah notices her copying skills and explains she might be a muscle mimic, able to instantly perform anything she sees. They test it out with Double Dutch and later martial arts movies, confirming her gift. That night, Mohinder shows up at her door, promising answers. Elsewhere, Peter struggles with his lost memories. Caitlin urges him to open a box of personal belongings, where he finds a passport and a photo of himself with Nathan. Soon after, he slips into a trance and begins painting a disturbing vision of the future. Meanwhile, Ricky warns him of a mysterious woman searching for him. That woman, who can control electricity, later confronts Ricky at the bar and kills him. Distraught, Peter realizes he can't keep hiding. At the company, Mohinder brings Molly for care despite Noah's warnings. Bob orders him into the field, and Niki suddenly appears, attacking Bob until Mohinder stops her. Niki later insists she wants treatment for her condition. Elsewhere, Hiro continues recording his adventures with Kensei and Yaiko, though damaged scrolls leave Ando uncertain about what comes next. By the end, Monica secretly trains harder. The blonde agent reports her failure to her father, and Peter is left shaken as he comforts Caitlin after Ricky's death. Sylar crosses the border into the US with Maya and Alejandro, but trouble quickly finds them when Border Patrol steps in. As panic sets in, Maya's eyes turn black, and Sylar pushes her to unleash her deadly ability. Alejandro tries to calm her, but she ignores him and wipes out the patrol officers. Afterward, Sylar makes it clear, at least in English, that he plans to get rid of the siblings once his powers return, leaving Alejandro in the dark. Elsewhere, Mohinder takes Monica to the company lab, where Bob pressures him to inject her with a virus that would strip away her gift. Mohinder refuses, and Bob backs down, claiming they'll bring in someone else he can trust. That person turns out to be Niki, who insists she owes the company and now works for them. Bob even drops Monica back in New Orleans, gifting her an iPod loaded with abilities for her to copy, though his kindness clearly hides another agenda. Meanwhile, Claire fails to make the cheer squad after Debbie, the head cheerleader, blocks her spot. With West's help, she hatches a plan to expose Debbie for drinking on school grounds. Debbie gets suspended, Claire gets her spot, and the subplot wraps with little more than eye-rolling high school drama. In Japan, Hiro saves Yaiko during a raid by teleporting her out of danger, which finally reveals his powers. She realizes it was Hiro she truly fell for, not Kensei. Their kiss seals it, but Kensei sees everything. Feeling betrayed, he sides with Whitebeard, captures Yaiko and her father, and turns on Hiro. Meanwhile, in Russia, Bennet and the Haitian track down Ivan, torture him for information on Isaac's paintings, then kill him to cover their tracks. Finally, Peter and Caitlin travel to Montreal, discovering a note signed by Adam and a sudden vision of New York, completely evacuated on June 14th, 2008. West surprises Claire by showing up at her house making waffles. But things turn awkward fast. When her dad comes home early, West panics, remembering that this was the man who once abducted him, and flies away. Later, Bennet confronts Claire about a newspaper story describing a flying boy and an unhurt cheerleader falling from 50 feet. He warns that she's putting the family in danger and announces they're moving. Claire rebels, insisting she's not going, and storms to her room. Meanwhile, Nathan and Matt head to the company after learning Maury marked Bob for death. Maury drags Matt into a nightmare world where Molly is trapped, but Matt pushes his abilities further and turns the tables, locking his father in the prison of his own mind. Bob admits Peter was once in company custody, but disappeared in Ireland, and also reveals Adam Monroe is the real mastermind, using Maury to wipe out the older generation of heroes. Niki's condition worsens, and in desperation she injects herself with a mutated virus that Mohinder can't cure. Bob pushes him to find Claire, even handing him a gun in case her father resists. Mohinder reveals he's secretly working with Bennet, though it's unclear if this is clever strategy or a reckless risk. In Japan, Hiro faces off against Kensei, who now fights beside Whitebeard. Hiro destroys the weapons cache, believing Kensei died in the blast before returning to the present. He's eager to reunite with Ando, but is crushed to learn his father has been murdered. Peter, meanwhile, finds himself in a devastated future New York where a virus has killed most of the population. He's reunited with his mother, who helps him regain fragments of memory and learns Nathan is dead. After losing Caitlin to the timeline shift, Peter meets Adam, revealed to be none other than Takezo Kensei, who promises they'll change the world together. 4 months earlier, right after Nathan saves Peter from exploding, the two brothers soar into the sky. Peter warns he can't hold on much longer, so he lets go, causing Nathan to get badly burned. Once the blast ends, Peter rescues him and drops him at the hospital, only to be taken by Elle, who shocks him into unconsciousness. He wakes up at a facility run by Bob, who explains they've been working on a cure to erase powers. Peter agrees to treatment, kept locked up while Elle flirts with him during her daily pill deliveries. Elsewhere, DL actually survives his season 1 shooting. While he recovers, Bob approaches Niki with the same cure offer, but insists she leave her family. She refuses and instead takes the medication at home. After 2 months, the depression it causes drives her to quit, which leads to another personality taking over. This version drags her to LA, where DL finds her dancing with a stranger. She snaps back to herself when reminded of her family, but the man shoots DL as they try to leave, killing him for real this time. Meanwhile, Peter meets another prisoner through the vents, Adam Monroe. Adam warns him that the company can't be trusted. When Peter asks Bob to see his family and is denied, he finally listens. He stops taking the pills, regains his powers, and escapes with Adam. Together, they find Nathan, and Adam heals him with his blood, but Elle and the Haitian track them down. Before being caught, Adam slips Peter a ticket and passport to Montreal. The Haitian erases Peter's memory, calling it a gift of a fresh start, and leaves his necklace around his neck. Elsewhere, Maya's backstory is revealed. Her deadly tears first killed her entire wedding party, and later a cop, forcing her and her brother Alejandro to go on the run. Matt discovers his powers extend beyond reading minds. He can now control them. Using this ability, he forces his boss to let him question Angela again. She admits the older generation of heroes once locked up Adam Monroe, who is now seeking revenge. She refuses to reveal the last surviving member of their group, but Matt eventually uncovers her identity anyway, Victoria Pratt. Meanwhile, Hiro refuses to accept his father's murder and travels back in time to stop it. On the rooftop where Kaito died, his father insists fate cannot be changed. To convince him, Hiro brings him to his mother's funeral, showing how much he still needs him. But Kaito explains that death is part of life, and Hiro must carry on his lessons instead of clinging to the past. Finally understanding, Hiro returns them to the night of the murder. They say their goodbyes, but Hiro freezes time before the killer can strike. To his shock, the murderer is none other than Adam Monroe, his old ally Takezo Kensei, who swore vengeance long ago. Elsewhere, Claire clashes with her father after refusing to move again, accusing him of destroying their lives with constant lies. Determined to protect her, Noah seeks out West, but Mohinder, Bob, and Elle move forward with their plan to abduct Claire for her healing blood. Mohinder lures Noah into a trap, but West intervenes and knocks Elle out. Together, Noah and West arrange a trade, Elle for Claire, who Bob already kidnapped and drained for blood. The exchange happens, but Elle strikes back with electricity, sending West and Claire crashing. Noah shoots Elle and aims at Bob, but Mohinder turns on him and shoots him through the eye. Claire is devastated, but later, Noah's body is revived with her blood. His destroyed face heals as he awakens, alive but now imprisoned. Maya, Alejandro, and Sylar stop at a motel in Virginia, where Sylar convinces Maya she can learn to control her deadly powers. Feeling more confident, she tells her brother to return to Mexico for his safety while she continues with Gabriel. Suspicious, Alejandro digs online and finds proof that Sylar murdered his own mother. When confronted, Sylar admits it, but claims it was self-defense. Maya believes him, but later, Alejandro doesn't. He challenges Sylar and ends up stabbed to death. Maya, unaware of her brother's fate, kisses Sylar passionately, thinking Alejandro left. Soon after, after, Sylar calls Mohinder from New York, saying he and Maya need help. Meanwhile, Niki arrives in New Orleans to see Micah, promising Mohinder will cure her virus. But trouble brews when Micah's cousin steals his backpack, which holds a medal honoring his late father. Monica decides to use her mimic powers to retrieve it, but she and Micah's plan backfires, and she's captured by the thieves. Elsewhere, the Bennets mourn what they think is Noah's death. Bob even brings over his ashes and assigns Elle to spy on the family. When Claire notices Elle's clumsy surveillance, she confronts her and boldly declares that if pushed, she'll expose her healing ability to the world, forcing the company to be the ones on the run. Peter and Adam track down Victoria Pratt, a scientist who once created a dangerous strain of the Shanti virus. She warns Peter that Adam is the real threat, but Peter ignores her. After Adam pretends to free her, Victoria arms herself, only for Adam to kill her. Meanwhile, Hiro digs into his father's past and learns Adam was imprisoned decades ago for trying to steal the same virus. Determined to stop him, Hiro teleports to Primatech, where he confronts Peter and Adam. Hiro charges with his sword, Peter responds with lightning, and the showdown begins. Mohinder returns home to find Maya and Sylar waiting, along with Molly. Sylar wants his powers back, so Mohinder agrees to help, but insists it must be done in his lab, formerly Isaac's loft. Tests reveal Sylar has the same virus as Niki, meaning someone injected him with it. Meanwhile, Molly tries to locate Alejandro, but he's nowhere. Maya realizes the truth, that her brother is dead. When she confronts Sylar, he shoots her. Elsewhere, Angela warns Nathan and Parkman that Adam must be stopped, even if it means killing Peter. The two head to Odessa, arriving just as Hiro recovers from being struck down by Peter. Inside Primatech, Peter opens the company's vault for Adam. Despite Hiro and Parkman's warnings, Peter trusts Adam until Nathan finally breaks through to him. Peter rushes inside, but Adam is gone. Hiro teleported him away and buried him alive in Kaido's cemetery. The virus vial is left behind, but Peter destroys it before it can spread. Other stories unfold. Micah and Niki rescue Monica from a burning warehouse, but Niki doesn't make it out alive. Claire, determined to expose her powers to the world, is stopped when Noah suddenly returns. He reveals he struck a deal with Bob. Their family stays safe if he works for the company again. Heartbroken, he says goodbye. At the same time, Elle tries to prove herself to Bob. She finds Sylar at Mohinder's lab and attacks, nearly killing him, but Sylar escapes with stolen vials of Claire's blood. The blood revives Maya, but worse. It now gives Sylar exactly what he needs. Finally, Nathan prepares to reveal everything in a press conference. Just as he begins, he's shot in the chest, collapsing in Peter's arms. Across town, Sylar injects Claire's blood, regains his telekinesis, and smirks. I'm back. So that's season 2, a roller coaster of powers, betrayals, and some very questionable life choices. Families were tested, villains resurfaced, and somehow, waffles and cheerleading still found their way into the chaos. But don't get too comfortable, because if you think things were wild now, season 3 cranks everything up to 11. Let's just say the villains aren't finished, and the heroes are about to find out what that really means. See you in the next recap.